A few days ago, there was a disgusting terrorist attack in Portland. A man named Jeremy Christian was berating a Muslim woman, and a few good Samaritans stepped in to tell him to relax. I think this was on a train. And so he stabbed them to death. Ricky John Best and Talisin Mirdin Namkai Mechi died from their injuries. And then a guy named Mika David Cole Fletcher is expected to survive his injuries. Well, now we have video of the terrorist, Jeremy Christian, in a court appearance. And take a look at what he had to say.
We hate our freedom. Death to Antifa.
No, that's fine. You can just give me your...
You call it terrorism, I call it patriotism. You hear me? Die.
Wow. So, by the way, many in the media refuse to call this guy a terrorist. They call him a killer. Weird. Not weird at all. We know exactly why. Typically, in U.S. media, if it's a Muslim and they do something, terrorism by definition. If it's a white dude, murderer. Because, you know, white people can't have political or religious motivations. Well, he's letting you know, yes, my motivation is political. That is the textbook definition of terrorism, so why wouldn't you go with terrorism? Because again, in the minds of a lot of these lazy, idiotic writers and a lot of these outlets, it's just, he's not Muslim, so murderer or something. So he said, when he got in the courtroom, you didn't see it all there, you just saw a little piece of it, but free speech or die, Portland, as well as death to the enemies of America, leave this country if you hate our freedom. And death to Antifa. You know, I always find it amazing that in the eyes and the mind of a terrorist, whether it's an Islamic terrorist, whether it's Christian terrorist or a white nationalist terrorist or whatever it is, they always like exempt themselves from the standards that they hold everybody else to. So, like, he's saying, well, death to Antifa because, you know, they're violent. And they're bad. Well, what are you? You just murdered people who were just standing up for a poor Muslim girl. So you're violent. You're bad. No, when I do it, it's okay. That's such just idiotic thinking. I can't stand people who aren't able to, like, turn the mirror inward. Like, you don't realize how fucking stupid you are? Like, that's so stupid. And also, it's hilarious. Free speech or die. What the? That's not free speech. That's not free speech. You have the free speech to murder two people, to stab them to death. That's not free speech, bitch. Death to the enemies of America. Aren't you an enemy of America? I mean, one of the laws in America is you can't murder people, and you murder people. So you're against the laws of this country. So aren't you an enemy of America? Leave this country if you hate our freedom. Again, you're the one who's violating the laws. And again, are you claiming the freedom to murder people? Because I'm trying to make sense and use logic and rationality when analyzing somebody who has none. Who's just an ideologically brainwashed terrorist. So, it just makes me sad. And I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, and I'm talking about this in respect to all different varieties of terrorists, different ideological terrorists. I get the sense that they're also off. You know what I mean? Like, this guy seems off. So, yes, I think that when it's like somebody in ISIS or if it's this guy... they're brainwashed, so he has an ideology, and he believes his ideology. There's no doubt about that. But it also just strikes me that these guys are not smart. Like, and there are people who disagree with that and say, no, you don't have to be, like, you can be smart, but if you're brainwashing the ideology, then you're gonna do terrorism. And yeah, I guess, but, like, to really cross the line and to do the attack, it just makes me feel like that person's also got to be off. Like, there's got to be something off there. Mentally. So, I don't know. It's just sad that this unfolded, and I hope this guy gets the book thrown at him because he's clearly unapologetic about it, unremorseful, and he deserves life in prison without the possibility of parole.